What's up, everybody? How you doing? We're about to get going here in just a moment. Hope everybody's feeling good. I, of course, had some things going on the last couple of days, but we're going to be getting into the charts here in just a moment. Let's everybody get this chat flowing. How you feeling? Are you healthy? Are you happy? Are you taking some life balance into perspective? Let me know what you're doing. We're going to be getting going here in just a moment. All right, taking some deep breaths. Got the charts all set up. We got a lot of stuff we're going to be covering today. I want to see everybody how you feeling. We got Ryan O'Ligny, Theo Rodriguez, E-Bone, Brad Guidell, Red Elephant, been in here from the beginning, Alex Green. I got the whole crew here starting to, people about to flow in. We're going to get this started here in about 1.5 minutes. Barbaric Puma, yo, Kelly, my man, good to see you. Been a while since I could join live. Well, here we go. We got you here live. I appreciate you being here. Green Day Profits, what's up? Smash the likes. That's right. We're getting going here in just a moment. We're going to be talking about what's going on with the price action, what it means. Are we going to get that ETF approval? Of course, it's going to be speculation, but how do we prepare? How do we prepare into 2024? How do we trade this so we can dominate this, getting into the next part of the cycle, making sure we can capitalize on profits? So everybody, as you roll in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. We're going to be getting going here in just a moment. So let's get this chat flowing. What are you buying today? What are you selling? Let's go ahead and get this cooking, baby. Welcome, everybody. We're about to get this going, so hit that like button, and let's break down these charts, talk about what we can do to capitalize on this movement. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. My name is Kellam. Welcome to the show. If this is your first time, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your last time. We provide you all the tools and resources to understand what the hell's going on in this market so that you can let your portfolio dominate going in, especially into 2024, 2025, the most bullish part of this market cycle, coming into the halving and post-halving, especially with all these ETFs on the horizon. I see we got a lot of people pouring in, 73 people currently in the room. There's going to be a lot more people pouring in. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Now, I just wanted to mention real quick, many of you probably saw last night, I went to the hospital. I took myself there. It wasn't something like an ambulance, but heart was beating really fast. I had like 120 beats per minute heart, and pressure in my chest. My left arm was kind of tingling. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm having a heart attack or what. I just been working so darn hard. I guess I compartmentalized some stress into my body. And I just want to make this a reminder to each and every one of you to check in with yourself, check in with your body, check in with your family, check in with making sure you're not only working. Make sure you have life balance, because it will absolutely affect how you are able to navigate this market. And also, wouldn't it suck to be making a lot of money and then have your life cut short because your life was out of balance? I just want to say, man, everybody, I love you all and I appreciate you all. I've got a lot of very supportive comments out there. So big love to each and every one of you. And I'm doing fine. I got some good rest last night. I slept in an extra hour today. Couldn't quite take the day off of work. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but you know, there's so much going on. I got to be here. I got to be here with each and every one of you. And I'm going to take care of myself and make sure I could be here with you guys for the long run. I love you all very much. So hit the like button. I'm here live with you after I was in the hospital last night from just, I don't know, I guess stress-induced anxiety. I don't know what it is. A lot of stuff going on there. But, man, I'm so happy to see about TJ and Nick and Carlos's court case. Ben's nonsense dismissed without merit. That's right. You haven't seen yet. He's out there just spinning lies. So that's why the judge was just like, this is nonsense. Get out of here. So if that gives you any sort of hope or thoughts about, even regardless of what side of it you're on, I have no problem with that, because there's been a lot of lies that have been spun out there from Ben Armstrong, former BitBoy, former person of morality. I used to like Ben a lot, and he's an absolute trash human being that all he does is drag people down. And I'm so happy to see a judge say no. So sorry, I just had to get that off my chest, because that's one of the things that's been stressing me out. One of the things that's put pressure on our business. One of the things that, because of all the lies that he spun. So if you want to support somebody like that, more power to you. But we don't bring that kind of energy to this channel, because this channel is all about tools and resources. This channel is all about empowerment. This channel is all about how do we do this together. So let's go ahead and do this together. Big love to each and every one of you. Hit that like button. I cannot believe you guys, we got 27 likes, which means you're not engaging with the stuff that's being put out here for free to you. Engage with it. Let YouTube know you like crypto content. Let's dive in and talk about what we want to talk about today. Now, what's going on with the price? Look at this beautiful formation. If we take all the different stuff off this, all the indicators, and just look at the price action, large bullish impulse to the upside, a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of a fake out, and then a drop right here. So we trap liquidity to the high side. We trap liquidity to the low side. Got a double bottom here. They ended up being a little bit of a triple bottom. 1, 2, 3. And then the price action pushed up. If we draw the lines on the chart here. Sorry. It's so funny. I had to get used to being able to see everything because I have this massive monitor now where I can actually see all the chat and everything. So yeah. All right. So let's go ahead. This line right here, we see this trend line, boom, boom, all this. We had a little bit of deviations above this, trying to trap people. Comes down, finds rejection, comes back up, finds rejection, comes back up, finds rejection. Support on this macro line. We've talked a lot about this macro line over the course of the last, since back here when this line was formed. And we're finding support on it, find support on it. We had a little bit more midterm double bottom with this W formation right here. And interestingly, as this pushed up, we see this trend line right here got flipped from previous resistance to support and gave us that basically indication that the bullish narrative was dominating here. The bullish narrative was saying, yeah, I think, the bears can try and send it down, but we no longer believe in lower prices. How do they say that? What is the vote in the market for them to say that? They buy. There's buying pressure that reduces the ability or minimizes or completely stops the ability for bears to bring it lower, because there is more of a bullish narrative than bearish. And we can see this playing out on the charts as the price action does find rejections until it breaks through and finds support. And not only that, the price action didn't come up here and fail somewhere in the middle of, on this move right here in the middle of like a golden pocket of this smaller move, or didn't get a lower high. No, it pushed up, sliced right through this. Now we're testing up into the range of where all this consolidated before. So we are at a very interesting point right now of whether or not Bitcoin is going to really be flying, and not only Bitcoin, but a lot of the crypto market really be flying into, we're already in the holiday season, but into Christmas. Are we going to get a Bitcoin surprise? Are we going to get a Bitcoin surprise for Christmas? Are we going to get that Bitcoin spot ETF approval? There's a lot of news, a lot of speculation about maybe this even happening before January. I know the thumbnail today said January 2024. Ultimately, a lot of people are looking at that January 10th date, but then there's speculation maybe that the ARK Invest gets delayed into March. But based on all this stuff going on right now, there's some speculation that it could even happen before January. So how do we capitalize on this? How do we make sure that we can dominate going into this next market? Now, before we get going, we got 97 people in the room. Every single one of you, hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, and I want to do a roll call right now. If you're new, throw up a raise your hand emoji or say I'm new. If you're in here. If you're a member, drop your favorite emojis. Let's get this chat flowing. Let's keep this exciting. Let's keep this happy. And where are you tuned in from? What city, what state, what country? Let me know. Let's get this chat going, and comment down below if you're watching at a later point. And what are some of the coins? What are some of the areas of the market that you'd like this channel to be looking into, to do some TA on? Get engaged. The more you give me, the more I can give you. Help me help you. That's what this is all about. This is all about a community thing. This isn't me talking at you. This isn't me bragging about anything. This is a show of humility and value. This is not a reality show like some of our former colleague, or a primary former colleague who is no longer with this channel. He is a reality show. Go get your entertainment there. Come get your value here. That's what this is about. Now, heading back over into the charts, and into the screen, I should say, we got a couple things I want to look at. Looking at CoinGecko right here, we can see we're seeing some large movements on Stacks, Near Protocol, Mina, VeChain, Beam, Sui, HBAR, FET. We're seeing the market make some moves. We're also seeing some things pull back, but it's okay. We're seeing Terra Luna Classic. If you're invested in this, then I don't know what you're doing. You need to start back from the beginning and understand what a project of value is. This is not a project of value. I don't know why you would even dabble in trading it, to tell you the truth. Now we got Bonk, BitGet token, WeMix, BitSensor, DAI. Market, what this is telling me is the market's relatively bullish, because even the largest losers are relatively small comparatively with the largest gainers. So what does this mean about going into January? We got Christmas and New Year's coming up at the end of this week. Actually, it's Monday next week, I believe, is Christmas. And then at the end of that week is New Year's Eve. So what do we make of it when we're going into some of these speculations about what may be on the horizon? Well, we can see right here, Grayscale, I'm sure you've seen it on other streams, but we got to talk about it. Grayscale CEO foresees 30 trillion boost from spot Bitcoin ETF. And whether or not this number is real or anything, the point of the matter is there's starting to be a concerted push in positive propaganda, and it is propaganda, but positive marketing, positive propaganda towards Bitcoin. We're seeing even things like the World Economic Forum, and we're seeing countries adopt Bitcoin. We're seeing things across the board line up in a bullish light, taking that negative spotlight off Bitcoin. I think one of the last, and there's many holdouts, but one of the last major holdouts is people like Elizabeth Warren. And I know this was covered on Discover Crypto, but I want to share this as well. And make sure, by the way, you're following me right here at Kelly Kellam, and then KELOY, Make sure you're following BitLab Academy as well, which is at Academy BitLab. But if I come over here to my page, I just retweeted this, and this is everything right here. Joe Biden gave the Taliban $86 billion worth of Black Hawk helicopters and machine guns. Okay, maybe he didn't give them, he left them. You could argue the semantics, but those can't be reclaimed without going to war. Then, and remember, we were there for 20 years and couldn't accomplish anything. Then he gave $6 billion to Iran, and Elizabeth Warren introduced a bill to ban crypto because Hamas got $873,000 allegedly worth of Tether stablecoin, but that was frozen. So which one of these would you prefer? Seems like Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain provides a better avenue of, yes, there's going to be illicit activity with any form of currency that ever exists. That's the nature of it. But remember, they've already done reports on all this. Less than 1% used in Bitcoin and crypto has been identified as anything to do with illicit activity, whereas somewhere between 2 and 5% of fiat currency systems is illicit activity. So if you're really worried about what the bad actors are, it looks like you need to start looking at banks in that $500+ billion that's being banked by JP Morgan, or the $2 trillion globally by the other banks. It's not Bitcoin, the issue. The issue is the people that are using things in an illicit manner, and it's happening more on traditional fiat systems than it is on crypto. So what's your worry about crypto? It's actually completely misguided, and it's so goddamn stupid. It makes me want to throw my fist through a wall, because these people are throwing unfounded claims just because they don't like that it's taking away their power. You know what it's doing? You know what blockchain and Bitcoin are doing? You know what threatens them? Let me record this. You know why the government's mad? Because Bitcoin and blockchain are displacing their power by giving you more power. So if you are watching this right now and you have any questions about Bitcoin or crypto, or is it legit? Is it a scam? Well, ask yourself, how is the dollar not a scam if it's dropped by over 90% in purchasing power since 1970? How is the dollar not a scam when 4 of the largest bank failures in history happened in March, but Bitcoin actually saw a rise in price over that same period? Bitcoin is the alternative. Blockchain is going to be the solution to many of the world's problems. There's going to be new problems that arise, yes, but with the transparency of blockchain, with the transparency and the ability for everybody to participate, how can you argue against that? The only argument against that is you are participating in some sort of either cognitive dissonance, you're allowing yourself to be held in a suppressed manner, or you just don't want to step into the future and take control of your own livelihood. That's, I mean, let's be a benefit to everybody. Let's be missionaries in a positive way. Let's speak nicely to our friends and family that don't understand it, but let's provide them the tools and resources. Send them to this channel. I'll drop some knowledge on them. But all things looking good there. I mean, not looking good here. Warren, I can't even talk about it. It just makes me so angry. But okay, Grayscale sees 30 trillion boost from spot Bitcoin ETF. Come back over here. BlackRock, NASDAQ. Let's go ahead and close that right there. BlackRock, NASDAQ, SEC meet again. Analysts speculate on possible pre-holiday Bitcoin ETF approval. Boom, boom, right down here. The discussion among the parties was related to the NASDAQ Stock Exchange proposed rule to list and trade shares of the iShares Bitcoin Trust under NASDAQ, blah, blah, blah. Point being is there's speculation that this could happen before January. I'm not betting on it absolutely happening, but we can see the reflection of the sentiment in the price. I get, golly, so many damn advertisements. All right, coming back over here. We can see this reflecting in the price because we're getting closer regardless of what that date is, whether it's January 10th, whether it's March 17th, whether it's sometime at the end of this week or sometime next week before the new year. Still hurts. Ooh, pressure in my chest. So what we're seeing in markets is the narrative being shaped by looking forward looking. So when we look at this chart, we can see that price action had a push. The bulls were contested and the bears just could not sustain this downtrend. The bulls are in control, but the question is going to be in this region where we're at right now, what is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Everybody watching right now, let me know in the comments. Do you think we're going to break through this before Christmas? Do you think we're going to break through 44.3, 44.6, somewhere in this region? Do you think we are going to break through this zone from this wick and these candle bodies? Do you think we will clear this before Christmas? Is this going to be a Christmas holiday surprise? So I think it's likely, but I'm very skeptical at the current moment because there's a high likelihood of traps in both directions right now because there's so much awareness about what could be happening. The fundamentals have not changed yet. The fundamental access to Bitcoin, which is what the ETFs will provide, it'll be a whole new road opening up essentially. And rather than it being small country roads that are hard to navigate, it's going to be large 7-lane highways providing access directly to this asset class. So the speculation, people don't want to miss out on this. And so price action, people are getting less and less willing to sell. And as they become less and less willing to sell, demand has a higher has more of an impact on the supply that's available because we know that the supply has been going down over time. In fact, if we come over to this chart right here, if I come down to available supply right here, we've talked about this before. We see this right here. This is the available supply. And we see since the last halving, price action is going to start really having the effects of the supply shock, especially coming into this new halving, because since the last halving, we've seen all the time here previously, there wasn't as much monetary energy needed to move this up. even though there was a lot more Bitcoin being printed, because the demand was just explosive in this. It's very speculative, very high risk. Even though the price is higher where we're at now, you're actually in a better risk-adjusted position now than any time previously in the history of Bitcoin, because of the adoption level, because institutions getting involved, because it's on the floor of every government, because of everything that's going on, especially coming into this next halving and election cycle year. We also have the benefit of now we're having reduction of available supply over time, because there's also maturity coming into the market. There's maturity with people taking coins off of exchange, holding in private wallets. So if anything, I want y'all to know this. As bizarre as it sounds, there's a huge silver lining with the cascading failures that we saw in 2022, from Luna to Three Arrows Capital to all the way through to Celsius and FTX. A lot of people lost a lot of money. There was a lot of bad actors in the space that were over leveraged or using poor management, poor capital management, poor strategy, and it affected a lot of people. But one of the best silver linings that's come out of that is it really woke people up to the understanding of not your keys, not your crypto. And we're seeing on exchange, on this chart right here, since the last halving, we have a reduction in available supply. This also has to do with the new issuance being cut in half. That's what the halving is, every 4 years. But in addition to that, we're seeing a huge number of people moving more and more coins off exchange. People are holding them off exchange. And if they're not on exchange, what does that mean? That means if they're not on exchange, there's less available liquid supply to trade. So there's more impact from the demand that's there currently. Even without any new demand has a stronger impact when there's less supply. And we're coming into another halving. Are you prepared? So, oh man, thought I recorded that, but I guess I did not. And that's okay. Well, this is just, I mean, I could not be more bullish than I am right now. I cannot be more bullish than I am right now. So, even with a pullback, in fact, I would welcome a pullback more than anything. I would welcome a pullback because I'm so bullish. That's why I want a pullback. But we're seeing right here on Bitcoin value map, I want you to notice something that's very interesting. You're gonna appreciate this. I do believe. Now you see this in the halving, not last halving, but the halving previous to that. This is 2015, 2016 timeframe. We had this push up. This is a fair value right here. Pushed up to it, rejected, consolidated under it, broke above it, got rejected up here in the overvalued zone, came back down, found support on the fair value, and launched up. Same thing here. We pushed up. We actually broke through the fair value, found some support, and touched up into the overvalued. These are both pre-halving, remember. And you're going to like this here in a second, so check this out. And then obviously the sell-off, into the halving. We had the global economic crisis, world shut down here. But this push-up and sell-off, pre-halving. Now look at where we're at right now. We pushed up to the fair value, which fair value is roughly about $43,000. 44,190. Okay. That's the price. Hold on. Let me see. That's about 42,500 or something like that. But the point here is, are we going to get a tap of the overvalued, this line right here? Are we going to get a tap of this line pre-halving? Now, check this out. Now, I'm not saying price is going to do this, because I still think $48,000 is going to be a very big contention. But look at where this overvalued metric is right here. Are we going to come up and tap that and get rejected? That metric is $65,000. So there's an argument to be made, and I think this is a less likely argument, unless all these ETFs get approved pre-halving, which I do think is likely. But this has arced up to $65,000, basically roughly around the previous all-time highs. So do you think that we are going to hit $65,000 before the halving? I think there's a case to be made that that's the case, but I still need to see what we do with the current price action. Can we take out the levels directly above us? Because even right now, look, we're trying to make them push up, and the price action, the bears are eating this back up. There's still some profit taking here coming into this region. Now, if we turn on the BitLab volume, look at that. We also have the order blocks right in there. So that kind of makes sense. There's a lot of liquidity interest in this zone. Will we chop sideways here before we make a determination of what direction we're going to go? Because this, is a bull flag, if you want to look at it this way. This very well could be a bull flag, pushing up, falling channel here, breakout, fine blue. But this also could very well ending up being a chop sideways before determining what direction it wants to go. taking advantage of everybody that's so excited about everything that's coming, because more and more people are opening their eyes. You know, in previous cycles, there was a lot less crypto YouTubers. In previous cycles, there was a lot less crypto media. In previous cycles, there was a lot less crypto coverage on mainstream media before the big part of the bull market truly began. Now it's a mainstay. It's, you know, it's a ticker on these financial shows, people talking about it on a regular basis before the retail hype even really gets those, you know, the fans of the flames of really getting retail buyer interest hype coming in. Now, coming back, I just want to show over here, by the way, if you want to be a part of our community, we got a great community over here in our Discord, the BitLab Discord. By the way, if you want to get involved, head over to bitlabacademy.com, hit that enroll. We have full courses breaking everything down, which you get access to with the all access, but you all get also, I think one of the higher value portions of this is you get access with that to the BitLab Discord. And, you know, Tim's been sharing some great trades. Corduroy shares so many great trades. John Dalton shares a lot of great trades. But, you know, he's talking about this as soon as it was happening, and, you know, showing what kind of areas that he's looking at, different scalps of different coins, gems that maybe you haven't been looking at. Like I hadn't even heard of wool. Altcoin spot trades, Ocean, Drew's in here sharing stuff. Get involved in our Discord. And by the way, this afternoon, 2:30, you can see up here at the top, one event. I will be doing a tips and tricks members only stream. BitLab YouTube members, you're going to have access to this as well, and it's also going to be streamed inside the member zone of the Discord. So make sure you come in here at the very top of the nav bar here on the BitLab Discord. One event, click interested, join us there, and if you're in the YouTube, you'll see it in the members area there. Now, coming back over to what we wanted to look at, there's a couple more things I wanted to talk about here. Man, this was. Would this make your holiday if the Bitcoin spot ETF got approved and the market just rocketed 20,000? Alexander G over here gifting a membership. Big love to you. Thank you for that. Let's see who's going to get that. Because I can bump it. Got the membership. Welcome to the family. Yeah. Hold longer and extend profits. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about coming into this. Everybody wants to trade right now. And I think right now is stacking time. You could trade. Do it. Do it with a very small portion of your portfolio. Right now is stacking time. I mean, get stacked because when this thing goes, we're going to see some God candles. And I think Bitcoin is going to be the biggest winner in terms of growth initially. And we're going to see capital rotate from Bitcoin into some of those other projects. If you're already set up in some different projects, that does not mean sell all those and go into Bitcoin. It means figure out where you can take some profits maybe and move that into Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin runs, you could take portions of the profit at certain key levels from Bitcoin and rotate it back into those assets that have not moved as fast yet. Okay. Now here's Michael Saylor was talking about this. Saylor's shocking revelation on SEC's decision. This is a furthering kind of what we were talking about there. Michael Saylor predicts a major demand shock for Bitcoin if the US SEC approves the spot Bitcoin ETF in January. The upcoming the Bitcoin halving event in 2024 is expected to create a supply shock. Yes, we all know this. But this is just, these stories are just getting more widely shared, more widely understood. People understand what's coming, and people are getting in their position. And if you're not getting in position, I don't know what you are doing. So let's go ahead and look at a couple more things here, and then we're going to do a bunch of TA. I'm really watching this because this would be phenomenal if we just smashed previous, because there's a lot more bullishness now. Remember, we may break the 618, the 48,618, 48 to 50,000. Maybe we get up to the 786. I actually wonder, where is the 786 on the macro? If we come out here to the 3-day, let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Golden pocket, okay. Option F, go from the top, go to the bottom. And look at that. The 786 is only $57,000. And so that wouldn't even quite get to that overvalued zone. But if we look at this, this didn't quite get there either. It was a little bit short, and this actually went a little bit above. So we'll have to see how the market responds if these Bitcoin spot ETFs get approved. Now, coming back over to the charts here, we can see price, if we really zoom out, this has just been an uptrend. Some people wanted to think this was a head and shoulders, but it's much higher lows here, much higher high. Now we have a little bit right here, a little bit of an M formation, but no, where we're at in the cycle says, no, we're faking you out. This is a bear trap, and the market launches. Not only did the market launch, but we have a bit of, I mean, look at this. If we go to a little bit larger time frame, this is just a large bull flag. We could do it all the way, or we can do it from here. And this would be a measurement. It'll be a very ugly measurement, but up to that $53,000 level. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I'm letting every day determine a new form of analysis based on what's happening in the market, because things are getting choppy right now, and I'm looking for opportunities to buy. I'm looking for opportunities to buy. I'm going to say that again. I'm looking for opportunities to buy. Price action pushes up, comes up into this price action region. And what do you know? We're getting a little bit of a hesitation here. Let's see if this is a hesitation continuation. Remember, we're looking for that rise, retrace, continuation, or rise, like topping formation and rejection back to the downside. It could go either way. On the 8-hour, we see the stochastics are getting relatively high. RSI is starting to sort of roll over here a little bit, but there's also some other indications. If we come over here and look at Matthew Hyland, if you guys don't follow Matthew Hyland, make sure you follow him. But he was talking about this. Bitcoin was at 40,900 2 days ago, and the whole X feed was bearish. Meanwhile, the daily RSI was at its lowest point in over 2 months and had completely reset to levels not seen since 27K. What is he talking about? The price, the RSI, the relative strength had come down. Even look at this. Price action has been moving up. We had a little bit of a retrace here, and yet the RSI came all the way back down here to the point that it was when we were at 27,000. So this is saying now we had a lot more steam in our engine to push further when we do launch. Now, the price action could still come further down, but this is already getting into a fairly oversold sort of territory, or entering towards a oversold territory, and the price action only fell so much. So even if this were to fall, you know, even down to that $33,000 mark that we were talking about, this would suggest that it's going to be short-lived, potentially. Now, pretty darn bullish, but sentiment on X was so bearish, was pretty telling. Now, if we kind of go to this next chart right here, we also see bullish divergence that was confirmed a few days ago now playing out. So there was multiple things that we could see on this. Well, we could see right here, this level to this level, we see the stochastics coming up. We see the RSI coming up, even though this was, you know, essentially, if you look at the candle bodies on this, candle bodies are a little bit lower, while the RSI and the stochastics here are a little bit higher. You see this angle? Do you see what I'm talking about right here? Yep. Well, let's come here. Let's go ahead and turn on our other indicators, and let's go to the 4-hour. There we go. There we go. Now we have high volume candles coming in, stopping volume. This is teal candles, high volume, stopping volume, coming into a known area that was identified by the BitLab volume, part of the BitLab trading stack right here. It suggested coming back into this was going to be a magnet and a potential area of interest for either a rejection or consolidation. And that's what we got. High volume buying up into the zone, now stopping volume here without follow through. So this three things could happen here. This could form if we go on to a smaller time frame, let's say the 1 hour, this could form a bull flag, a bull pennant. It could form an M formation and break back down, come back and test these $43,000 levels just below us, or we could lose this level and come back down and test this again. The alternative to this is that this is all just chop and shaking everybody out, and the price action comes down to this level and loses this $40,800 level, this sort of zone right here where the order block is from 40,600, 40,800. If we lose that, then I have an area already lined up for me to be looking at, and that is this CME gap that's right here that also has some price action interest that chopped right in this zone. And so you see we're starting to stack up on the 1 hour, a little bit of bearishness here on the BitLab trend fuel, part of the BitLab trading stack, showing 1, 2, 3, 4 bearish signals and 2 of them still remaining bullish. But as this momentum wave clips over and we get that triangle, this right here showing that is clipped, this may flip bearish as well. So we're going to want to pay attention to this. Let's not get over exuberant just because we pushed up, came down. We want to make sure that if we lose this $43,000 level, then I do think that we're coming down into this 42, and that's going to be our next point of interest. What is Ethereum looking like? Let me go ahead and take a second and come over to the chat. Let's see. T-Doom Crypto RSI is relative strength index used to assess the magnitude and velocity of recent price changes to determine whether an asset is overbought or oversold. Yes, a great description. RSI, it's a relative strength. It has to do with how basically the orders coming in to buy or sell, the underlying strength of moves, because you can see price action moving up. See right here, you see price action moving up, and then coming into this right here with this attempt coming back up as RSI, this purple line here is moving back down. And if I show you on the traditional indicators, this is just using the free indicators on TradingView, we can see, let's go to the daily. So you see right here, this RSI is starting to come down as the price is holding here. So the relative strength is starting to get weak. If I really zoom in on this, come on. If I really zoom in on, where are we at? Right here? Let me just make sure. No, that's too far back. Right here. Sorry, I'm just marking it so I can see where it is on the chart. All right. So you see this RSI is the strength is coming down, and in that same period, the price is holding flat here. The strength is weakening while the price is still doing everything it can to hold the water, but the water is starting to get too soggy, and then the water, boom, falls out of the pail. So there's a little bit of a leading signal there. Even though the price action pushed a little higher, the RSI, the strength was getting a little bit weaker. Okay. Now go back to the BitLab trading stack here. Now we can see on the daily, still leaning a bit more bullish here on the signals. the stochastics got relatively low, and the RSI is still angled to the upside, and we are held above the 50 mark. And remember, unlike on the daily, if the RSI is holding above the 50 mark, you're generally bullish. If it's breaking down below that, and especially if it breaks down and gets rejected at 50 and goes down, you're generally entering a bearish trend. Now on the 6 hours, look at all this volume that came in. All this volume came in. People expecting to get rejected at this level. Shorts probably got liquidated here. But the concerning thing here that I see is the money flow, how we water the fields. The money flow is looking like it's trying to make an attempt to the downside. In fact, it did, but then came back up. But as we see right here, this is so we're on the 6 hour. Let's go to the 2 hour. I'm watching this trajectory right here with the stochastics and the RSI. I want to see if that's starting to reverse. Yeah. So you see the RSI starting to angle down, the stochastics starting to angle over. So I'm watching what this retrace does. If this is going to be a liquidation event and come down and just this end up being a bull trap. I'm prepared for either direction. Are you prepared for either direction? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Quarter crawler. BitLab Tech, welcome to being a member. Thank you for joining. I see you must have been a member before as well, because you have a bit fuller beaker. Look at all those beakers filling up. The longer you're a member, the more the full those beakers get. And by the way, we are doing a BitLab members stream 2:30 today. Where's it at? It's in right here. If you come up here, up to membership, and if you want to join, you can click that join button. It should be somewhere on this page. Of course, I'm subscribed and the channel holder, so I don't see it, but you'll see join. And if Alexandra G, if you can drop the link. But we do some things in here for members only as well. You got all the emojis. Everybody, if you're a member, drop those emojis. Drop your favorite emojis in there. And we had some people that were gifted memberships that did not sign back up. So we do have quite a bit of memberships that we need to gain before we get another emoji. But coming back over to the charts, let's look at some other stuff. What's going on with Ethereum? Look at this large W pattern right here, and we got rejected at the neckline. See this neckline right here? We had the trap wick up, and then it just could not sustain, came back down. Now this is on the 2 hour. What's it looking like on the 6 hour? So, okay, here we go. So we have a trend line right here. See this? Rejections along the way. We lost the trend signal line, the 20 moving average, and the AVWAP, basically the weekly VWAP here, which is this yellow line. And now look at this. We tried to make a run for it, got rejected. Rejected the 20 moving average, rejected the 20 moving average, and the VWAP right here, this weekly VWAP. Now we made an attempt, got rejected this trend signal line, this red line right here. Made another attempt, actually had a wick above it, and it went directly to this price action trend line right here. And what I want you to notice is here on the 6 hour, we came down all these times to this order block that was formed back here. And this, not only is this an order block right here, but it's also in range with where these previous highs were. So it gave you an idea if price were to come back, where the price action would likely bounce. It bounced, it bounced, it bounced. Now, on this, we are seeing the stochastics rolling over. The RSI is looking relatively weak. It's looking like it's fighting to stay above 50. It's fighting to stay above 50. And the momentum, you notice this right here? This momentum is curving. This is what we're watching for, potentially doing something like this, which would mean these all would be coming down as well, which would mean what? It would mean that the price action likely is also going to come down and test this region again. Now, if we do get something, some instance, some news stories, because everything is so excited right now, you have to realize we can see bearish structures on a chart and see absolute bullish price explosion to the upside. This is why right now, when everything, there's a hair trigger on everything, especially if we get those Bitcoin spot ETFs, especially if we get some other big news, because everybody is so ready. You have to be prepared. You need to have stop losses, and you need to have targets in both directions, because there could be a mass denial, there could be a mass approval. You never know, especially in the world of crypto, when you're Bitcoin and crypto is challenging everything. Let me say that again. Nose is still running from the other day, coughing. Bitcoin and crypto is challenging everything about the traditional finance system. It's challenging everything about lack of transparency. The market is so exciting right now because we're coming into the halving. We're coming in to see actual institutional interest and their ability to participate in this market with the change of the fair value accounting rules on the horizon. And we see just absolute frothiness of people ready for explosive price action. So not only is Bitcoin a better asset, we have Bitcoin spot ETFs that may be approved any day now, but at the same time, different regulatory changes or a denial or a change of date or an early approval, regardless of what your technical analysis is on a chart right now, you need to be prepared in both directions and not be too overzealous about what your bias is, because the market is going to do everything it can right now to chop you out. Now, I am incredibly, incredibly bullish going into 2024, 2025, but that does not mean that chop will not exist. That does not mean that there's not going to be some struggle and some pain, especially if you have fear, FOMO, hope, or greed. Trade the data in the charts. Trade technically. Any dip that I see right now, I am a net buyer because of what is coming, regardless of what Gary Gensler does or doesn't do. Be patient. Hope that gets through to you people. I hope that gets through to me. Sometimes some of the things I tell you guys, I'm telling myself, okay? Because I'm not a perfect trader. I took some great trades last week. And I also took a really bad trade. Thought I closed a trade because I was on my mobile thing at a Christmas party. That trade was not closed. Like $1,500 got liquidated because I thought the trade was closed. We all make mistakes, you know? But that goes back, you know what? When you lose a trade, let me say this. When you lose a trade or a trade goes against you, don't lament on it. Don't feel like a victim. In reality, the only victim you are is a victim to yourself. You're a victim to your some rule that you have, some part of your strategy you ignored. So if you lose money in a trade, in an investment, in a market, in anything, ask yourself, what rule of mine did I break? Ask yourself, where could I do this differently? And ask yourself, how can I prevent this from happening again in the future? Let it be a lesson. Don't let it be a lament. I'm telling myself that right now. Now coming back over here. Now we got 131 people in the room. We can get this to 100 likes. If each and every one of you mothers raised you correctly, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I don't care about likes and subscribes. It's what helps YouTube know if they should push your channel to other people. If you guys like this kind of content, you know, we got to make, this has got to be something that is meaningful in my day-to-day life, right? And all of you as individuals are. But if I got 42 things to prioritize between, we have to make sure that we are giving value to where people want it. So a great way you can show that this is value to you, hit that like button. Now, let's go ahead and look at ETH. Okay, we got this downtrend resistance. We have this sort of, I won't call it a flat level support because this does kind of come in at a bit of an angle here. It can kind of trick you there. You know, you see kind of both, but this looks more like a falling wedge, maybe a potential bull flag, but it's very sideways. So I'm watching, I really am watching for a potential opportunity back down here at 2100, maybe even a bit lower. We're gonna have to see if this loses, if we do come down and test these previous lows down in the low 2000s. And ultimately we're watching this level down here at 1950. So that's what we're kind of looking at right now. This is kind of starting to look a little weak, even though we got the W formation. If we do take this out, if this is just a trap in both directions, trapping the bulls and then scaring them, getting them to sell, and then actually fully breaking out. We're going to have to see how this plays out because, yeah, I mean, even here, see how this is angled down. This is starting to roll over. And we had the bearish signal right here with the BitLab trading stack. And we have a bit on the 1 hour time frame. We have a bit of a trend line here where boom, 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 boom. If we lose this, I don't think it's the end of the world, but yeah, it's trying to do it and it just cannot do it yet. If we do break out of this, then the next level I'm looking at is up here. I talked about this yesterday, 2320, and then up here at the 2370 sort of zone. That's what we're looking at. Now, I saw a lot of people talking about quant and dot on the last thing. So let's look at quant, let's look at dot. So, all right, this is quant. Look at this trend line we got right in here. So boom, this rejection, a little deviation above, but then rejection here, and rejection here with this wick. See that? Rejection here. So if we're able to take this out, first things first is we have an order block right here. We are on the 1 hour time frame. We have an order block right here, which is literally directly overhead, a 111 to 111 range. If we take this out, this is also all this price action that was chopping in the zone. And then we'd have to contend with this 113. But the problem with this is we got some mixed signals here because the market's kind of like confused. A lot of bullish speculation, but nothing fundamentally changed. That's why you see prices push, and because there's no fundamental change, the people are like, oh, well, maybe not yet. And then they, take some profit, or people exit a little bit of use you as exit liquidity on the speculation you have. So if this does get rejected here, I'm watching this zone right here, this 107.70 sort of zone. Of course, we have the weekly VWAP right here at 108. So this zone right here, if we're able to bounce in this zone right here, we're able to bounce in this zone, then this would be wonderful because we have the trend signal line coming up right here, along with the weekly VWAP, along with this rising level of support right in the zone, and we have this order block right below us. If we come down here and lose this, then I'm watching for down back at 106 and potentially coming back down to 104. But this is looking more like a bullish structure, but it does look like it's cooling off here. So let's hope this is just a consolidation right here into a bull flag, in which case, if this is the case, then we can measure this out right here. And this would, look at that, take us right up here to basically contest this $114 range. So you see how I'm looking at both directions? I have a plan regardless of which way it goes, and I have dry powder on the side, so I don't really care which way it goes. I can stick in my trade here, cut my losses if it breaks down, and then pick up some stuff when it comes down in this zone. But in reality, I'm not doing a lot of very chop trading right now, so I wouldn't even really be cutting a loss here. I'd be looking, if this does drop, I'd be adding to my position. If this does break out to the upside, I'm already in position, and I can take some a small bit of profits here if I want to, or wait to see if there's any rejection here, basically rise, retrace, continuation, and buy on that retrace. Now, what's DOT looking like? And then we'll do HBAR. How many of you hold quant? Caspa and Neon. Yeah, we could do a quarter crawler. Do those. All right, so this looks very similar. This looks almost identical to quant, except the difference is that broken out of the zone, getting a little, almost like a little baby head and shoulders here. If we get down to the smaller time frame, if this pushes up and rejects over, then this would suggest, so you can measure this stuff out before it happens, so you're already prepared. This would suggest a retest back to the zone, which we never really got a retest down here. So that would be a retest back down into the 680 sort of zone, which also has an order block representing it. Now, if this is able to hold, and this is already looking like it had a trend line here, you see, and it lost this and is coming back up to retest to continue down. But if this is just a little bit of a fake out, then we're going to want to watch this price action reclaim above this trend signal line and contest this $713 region and take that out. And then we can talk about potentially coming up into these previous range highs here at 730. Now, Caspa has been ripping and then took a little bit of a, let's see. So let's go to the daily. So look at that. Looks like Bitcoin on the monthly, right? This is why everybody goes, we've had bull and bear markets. Some people say Bitcoin has never seen a bear market. Why? Because look at this. I'm looking at the daily on Caspa. This is essentially what Bitcoin looks like on the monthly, right? So when you look at it over a larger period of time, we've just had rise, retrace, continuation. Now looking at Caspa on the daily, we've had this, basically launch and then, a lot of speculative drive pushed up. Now this roundingness, see this roundingness here, option T, got a bit of a trend line here. Let's turn off the indicators. Lost the level, rejected, came down, formed a new low. So what we're going to want to see here with Caspa, I'm looking this at the daily. So now we're looking a little bit more macro. Now here on the daily, you see, the 4 hour, we have a downtrend on the 4 hour. Rejection, come down, tested it. A little bit of a head and shoulders there, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Lost it. Stair step down, push up. We do have a new higher low on this downtrend right here. The question is going to be right here. Does this break through or not? So as it stands right now, notice on the momentum, what do we see? We see this concaving back like this. It's not getting sharper towards the zero line. So not only that, we do see that the stochastics are kind of trying to figure out, they're going flat. RSI is going flat. It's kind of like it's waiting for a signal. What direction is the market trying to move right now? So I'm watching this zone right here, and we have, look, order blocks right here directly above us. So if we do push up, I'm watching for a move up here, probably a slight pullback and then continuation. If we do reject from here, then what we can do is option F from the bottom to the top. We see the golden pockets right here. Now we can do another fib right here to the top. Okay, now this golden pocket's right on this, is that the one line? 382. So we have a confluence right here. So if this does reject and come down, I'd be watching for what happens at this 1009 sort of region. If we lose that, then likely retesting these lows back here at the 10.5 and then potentially even testing lower. But things are waiting on which direction the narrative shift is going to be next, especially coming into the holidays. Now, this is looking a little more bullish because we have a higher low here And now we also, from this range, have a higher high. So watch a retest down to this 382, somewhere between the 382 and the golden pocket at the 0.5. This region right here, see all these highs in this zone? Now, if we draw this across and we find confluence with these previous price levels in conjunction with the fibs that I want to see, and this already kind of did this, but if we get rejected here and come down and test back in this region, this would be ultimately still okay because we pushed up. We finally got this newer high, but we're seeing the momentum sort of wane here a little bit. So if we can't break through this, watch for either consolidation above this 382 or a retest down here, and then you'll have to look at the momentum, the money flow, the RSI, stochastics to give you indication what direction the market's trying to move. Now, CASPA is something I was not interested in at all until, recent month and a half or two. And it's something that I'm going to start looking at stacking into my portfolio for a position going into the 2024, 2025 bull market. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. HBAR, I think we'll do HBAR, then we got to go. Before we go, everybody, we got 118 people in the room. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Show some love to the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Even though the doctor told me you need to take some rest, I was like, I can't leave my people. I got to be here with my people. That's what it's all about. Everybody drop your favorite emoji. Let's look at HBAR real quick. Let's look at the 8 hour, 6 hour. Man, look at that. Boom. That is just, now there's one concerning factor here. First thing I notice here is see how this is expanding. This is starting to look like a little bit like a broadening wedge. This is going to be a little bit ugly, but that's okay. So watch for a rejection some point in here and coming back here. But the problem with these is they tend to break to the downside, but there's bullishness in the market. And if the market is proceeding to the upside, this may just show a sharp continuation. So and you see right now, we're getting a little bit of it's trying to roll over a little bit, but the stochastics, this is showing chop because we have positive money flow, but the momentum's rolling over, but stochastics are reset. So I'm watching for potential 99.2 cents, likely rejection, slowdown and bullish narrative in this region, and watch for a pullback somewhere into the 8.5 sort of cents if we get that. Because you see, we're seeing this. That was a 10% pullback. This was a 16% pullback. So even from here, a 10% pullback is right into that order block zone. A 15% pullback would be down testing the lower bound of this range. So you can see based on the price performance in the recent time frame and the structures you have on the chart, what areas you can likely look for. And the last thing we can do there with both of those, option F, Fibonacci from the bottom to this zone. Look at this. From right where we're at now, look at the order block right here. This green order block is right where the golden pocket is. See this golden pocket? We have the green order block. Now, if this goes all the way up into here, then still same sort of region. So I'm looking if this does pull back somewhere in the 8 cents sort of range, 8 cents, and then potentially down here to the 7.86, 7.7 cents. But man, a lot of talking today. I need to drink some water. I love you guys. Private live stream today. All you green name and also blue names too, because you're mods. All those of you with those beakers next to it. I love you all. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the live stream. We'll be in the Discord, in the members stream area down here. If you come here to member streams here in the BitLab member zone, see right here, BitLab member zone. Scroll down right here, member streams. That's where it's going to be. You can also click right here on the one event, click interested, and I'll be streaming it in there and on the BitLab YouTube members. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you haven't yet, make sure you check out bitlabacademy.com. Get involved. Join us in the academy, not only to sharpen your tools and your skills and your resources to understanding. You know, I have to go back through the trading fundamentals. I do, because my life was out of balance. I went with apparently an anxiety and stress issue because my shit's not balanced. So I'm going to go over some of the stuff. I check back on stuff. I don't learn something once and let it go. I go and resharpen my tool, resharpen my skills to make sure that I can hold myself accountable then, of course, with the BitLab membership, you also get access to the Discord, which is where all the continuous regular action is. So get involved here. And if you want to get involved, also click right here, enroll. If you want to get the indicators, it's right here. If you want the indicators and the all access, all you got to do is get the BitLab Pro, which is listed as the top one when you go to this page. Sign up right there. You get it all. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the BitLab member stream at 2:30 Eastern time, 2:30 p.m. So everybody, what's your next purchase? What's your next action going to be? Are you going to buy or sell something? Or are you going to hodl? Let me know. I love you guys. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for being here. We all love crypto and we can be friends. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and join us in the BitLab Discord. Check out bitlabacademy.com. That's all I got. Adios, muchachos.